Thank you so much for having me. This is called The Sea. At the reading, everyone falls asleep. The reader, initially dismayed, forges ahead anyway. If not awake, then in dreams, maybe something will stick. The audience snaps awake. Were we snoring, they ask? The reader says yes, but that's okay, and goes back to reading. The audience shifts uncomfortably in their chairs, trying to stay awake. Discreetly, they pinch themselves. They bite their lips. They poke their neighbors. All attempts fail. Down they all go, everyone back to sleep. It sounds like the ocean, so the reader skips ahead and reads the part about the fish. My pieces are funny, so it's okay to laugh if you want. This one's called Gentleness. I was such a tough kid, all the cattle would stop by our house to chew on me. They'd ring the doorbell, or they'd wait for me as I was walking home from school. Their hot breath, their sad eyes as my salt taste filled their mouths. My mother, unlike all the other mothers, watched. I didn't complain, but neither did my brothers or sisters, who I had beaten up mercilessly. Serves you right, each of them said, when they weren't busy petting the cows. So each day, the cattle chewed and chewed, but in their mouths I stayed whole. It took such a long time to become gentle. This one's called Soft Spot. When you're no longer a baby, after you start wearing grown-up clothes and big person shoes, after you outgrow the safety seat and you start driving your mom around instead, you ask, why can't I be a baby? I'd be a very good baby. This time I'd get it right, being a baby. You drive past the Toys R Us, and you drive past the great fountain of money, and you drive around the mortuary. No matter how good you've been, you're not getting anything, your mom tells you from the back seat, because you're a grown-up now. Grown-ups never get anything just because they've been good. Beg all you want, she says. I'm never giving you your soft spot back. This one's about grading. It's called Horse. I hate grading papers, so I go to the horse store and I buy a horse. I pick one with beautiful eyes and a demeanor of certainty, a horse who knows what is what in this world. Do you want to buy a bridle or a saddle to go with your new horse, the salesman asks me. Oh no, I say. I have too much grading I have to do. I'll never have time to ride. I walk home with my horse, up 3 flights of stairs to my shitty apartment. My roommates look at me and my horse. That better be a rental, one of them says. Of course it's a rental, I say. With all this grading I have to do, who has time to buy a horse? I push the horse into my tiny room, the floor covered in papers I'm supposed to grade and pens. I look my horse in the eye. Please, I say, just help me get through this pile. The horse looks at me stoically. Only if I get to sing while I'm working, he says. Sing whatever you like, I say, relieved that the price of a horse's labor is so low these days. The horse starts to sing the same Taylor Swift song over and over, the one about the bleachers and T-shirts. It is the most awful thing I have ever heard, but the horse is making progress, dispensing grades and stamping out comments and corrections in the margins. Before long, the roommates are banging on the door. No, I yell at them, not until he's finished with my grading. He's doing your grading, they ask? Get your own goddamn horse, I say. This is called Kissing. It's in 2 parts. 1. My kisses are so sweet, you have to bolus for me every time. And I'm such a sloppy kisser, my beard tickles your face. So I become such a delicate kisser. You say, come on, baby, don't hold back. And I'm such a serious kisser. My kisses solve all sorts of problems. But I'm such a playful kisser. I get in trouble, too. I'm such a natural kisser. You'd never know I spent 30 years in graduate school. I'm such a great kisser. All those academic kissers should just go back to using their mouths for dissertations. And I'm such a shy kisser. We've been such a sly kisser. We've been lovers for decades, and your mother thinks we're just friends. 2. There are 2 kinds of kissers. There's the polite little peckers, the kind of people who only open their mouths to eat and talk and yawn. Otherwise, they're more concerned with gesture, the symbol instead of the thing itself. They struggle with their kisses, and they always win. Weak huggers, you have to do all the work, and they come to resent it when you do. They kiss like they're doing you a favor. They kiss like they care more about preventing the passage of germs. They kiss like they're gargling something more important than you. I'm not one of those. Hugh Behm-Steinberg is a tongue man. I'll read one more. This is called On Being a Teenager. When I was a teenager, my hair was a forest. It stretched for miles, and I could hardly go anywhere because someone was always tugging or tying me up around trees or family or telephone poles. I tore so much of it out, thinking if it was so endless, I could get away with wasting it. If I had had me some lovers, I would have let them braid it for me, but I didn't, so I stayed wild, and it wore it loose with bangs that hid me about as well as I could hide my feelings. When I was a teenager, everyone wore their hair like that. No one was going anywhere, and if they had lovers, they treated them awkwardly. I wasn't good at getting out of my body, even when I shaved all of it off. 2. My counselor refused to let me drop biology class, no matter how often I told her I hated it. You need to get used to bodies, she said. I know you don't want to, but you do. So I signed up for theater classes. What I loved best were the warm-up exercises. I loved tensing and relaxing the different parts of me, rolling my shoulders, becoming rubbery. We'd sit in the darkened auditorium while the teacher taught us how to cry. We'd sit there with our eyes closed, thinking our saddest thoughts, but I just couldn't. All I felt were my shoulders cramping, as if I'd been carrying something so heavy I'd never be allowed to know what it was. 3. When I turned into a teenager, one of the things I grew to hate were chin-ups. To hang off a bar and yank my body up over and over, only to fall back down again mindlessly, there were just so many better things I could do. The gym coach would lash out at me and my laziness. What if, he said, there was a terrible accident and you were dangling from a cliff and the only thing saving you from certain death was the strength of your wrists? Would you not at that moment regret blowing off all those chin-ups in gym class? Fuck no, I said. I have a backup plan. Why do you think I've been masturbating so furiously all these years? Thank you.